From an incredible teaser trailer that's got everyone excited to the insane amount of people who've already wish-listed it on Steam, here's all you need to know about Payday 3's latest reveal. Now, from the looks of it, this seems like a return to form for the series. After all, the teaser trailer really got everyone in the mood for some more Payday. Of course, there's not much actual detail here, except a shadowy character turning to the camera and saying, "All right guys, it's a simple job." But if you've played any of the previous entries, you know the vibe they're going for. This is, without a doubt, one of the most anticipated co-op shooters this year. And it seems like, for Payday 3, Starbreeze Studios is going down the God of War route. Well, at least in terms of character progression anyway, because in the game's canon storyline, the Payday gang actually retired after their reign over Washington, D.C. But now, many years after that previous storyline, a new threat has emerged, forcing the gang out of early retirement. In fact, the game's official synopsis also mentions all these things, including how players will be stepping out of retirement, back in the shoes of the Payday gang, the envy of their peers, and the nightmare of law enforcement. So yeah, the gang's back together. And of course, that includes the 4 OG playable characters Dallas, Hoxton, Wolf, and Chains. Not to mention, even though the teaser trailer didn't reveal many details, we don't have to wait very long to find those out either, because we're getting a full gameplay reveal later this summer. Yep, the teaser trailer finishes with, well, a teaser about a gameplay reveal in the summer. And, while it could show up at any of the dozens of showcases around the E3 season, we're probably gonna get it at Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest live show on June 8th, 2023. After all, this is a pretty high-profile game, so it'd make sense for it to be on the main stage. With that said, the Payday publisher Prime Matter has also held its own showcases over the past under the Play On banner, meaning that if they've got other games to show off alongside Payday, then this could pop up in one of those Play On streams as well. Oh, and get this, the publisher even released a statement in one of its financial reports saying that summer marks the kickoff for their marketing campaigns to create the biggest possible impression ahead of the release. Guess what's included in that campaign other than the gameplay trailer though? Well, apparently, they're gonna update Payday 2 and drop some story clues in that. Now, Prime Matter calls it the transfer strategy, and the goal is to essentially fill in the story gaps between Payday 2 and Payday 3 by adding extra little details for players to find. I mean, sure, that may not mean much for the average player, but Payday fans will definitely be feasting on this extra content for the time being. Although, amidst all this anticipation and hype, you've gotta wonder, why is Payday 3 even such a big deal in the first place? Like, don't get me wrong, everyone knows it's got a big fan base. But since we've got countless other co-op shooters over this past few years, is this really something that could stand out from the crowd? Well, let's start with the fact that it's been almost a decade since Payday 2, meaning fans are clamoring to see a new entry in the series with visual and gameplay improvements. Not to mention, the series has always stood out in terms of its gameplay elements, because it's not about the precision of your shooting or fighting hordes of enemies. No, sir. Payday has always been about coming up with clever tactics for completing a heist. In fact, in many ways, it's as much a puzzle game as it is a co-op shooter. After all, the challenges you've got to face, including police officers, SWAT members, and the infamous cloakers, have always been Payday's biggest draws. What's more, previous games have given us plenty of weapons to deal with this too, including stealth equipment, a massive arsenal of guns, and even things like C4s and turrets. Also, let's not forget that Payday's always had perks and skills for each individual player as well. So basically, it's the perfect heist sandbox, and there's nothing more exciting than seeing it make its emphatic comeback after 10 years. Now, a lot has changed since Payday 2. So, what's going to be different this time around? Well, the visuals are going to be very different thanks to a new engine. Yep, gone are the days of the old diesel engine, with Payday 3 using Epic's Unreal Engine. Now, we all know the limitless potential that devs have with Unreal. After all, not only is it the most mainstream game engine out there, but it's also used on some of the biggest titles in the market, like Fortnite. Although we don't know if it's UE4 or 5. Still, considering how there are multiple games in development for Unreal Engine 5 like Hellblade 2 and the Tomb Raider reboot, it'd be a safe bet to assume that it's the latest Unreal version. And that, of course, also means some major visual upgrades, including real-time global illumination tech called Lumen, which, according to Epic, is not only faster than path tracing, but can also produce lifelike reflections and lighting. Plus, we can expect a lot of fine details in the environments with Nanite, which is Epic's proprietary tech used to import high-quality assets without reducing their quality. Oh, and yeah, for all of you tech nerds out there, UE5 also fixes a lot of stutter issues present in UE3 and 4, meaning the performance is going to be a lot better on PC. Speaking of PC though, let's talk about Payday 3's release platforms. Because, unlike the previous entries in the series, the latest installment will be the exact same across every platform, including PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Now, the developer says that this was finally possible thanks to their shift to Unreal Engine. Plus, ever since the original studio, Overkill Software got acquired by Starbreeze, they've had some steady funding as well. In fact, in March 2021, Koch Media, aka PlayOn, even committed to paying over $60 million to assist in the game's development, including a year and a half of post-launch support. I mean, if that doesn't scream serious commitment to you, then I don't know what does. Also, in case you're curious about cross-platform, then that's probably on the cards too. After all, they've gone to the effort of bringing feature parity between the consoles and PC, so it wouldn't make any sense to not allow them to play with each other. Not to mention, most live service games these days come with cross-platform compatibility. Why? Well, multiplayer games like Payday just do better when they allow people to play with their friends regardless of their platforms. And that, of course, results in an increase in sales numbers too. Although it is worth noting that Starbreeze hasn't specified which versions of the consoles the game is going to launch on, like PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X are obviously in the running already, but last-gen players who are still rocking PS4s and Xbox Ones might be left behind for this one. There's one reason why we could still see Payday 3 come out on older platforms though, and that's its very long development time. I mean, it wouldn't take a genius to figure out that Overkill and Starbreeze have been working on this game for a long time. After all, it's been a decade since the previous entry, and they haven't just been sitting on their laurels all this time. Yep, the release date has to be around the corner as well, because a 5-6-year development process is the norm for most games of this size. So, my guess would be a fall 2023 or a spring 2024 release. What's more, the game's official page is also up on Steam already, meaning people can wishlist it. In fact, the game's marketing has been so successful that 1 million players have added it to their wishlists already. Yep, you heard that right. Over 1 million people all sitting to buy this game the moment it comes out, which could only bode well for its sales figures. Oh, and yeah, this also makes Payday 3 one of the most sought-after games on PC. When you add console sales to that, though, then you've got a certified banger. I mean, the series has always been a big seller, shipping over 9 million copies for the first 2 games. Not to mention, the reviews for the previous entries have been very decent as well. So, judging by how popular Payday 3 is already and how hyped the fans are for it, this could easily go on to become the best-selling game in the franchise. And there you have it. From the insane amount of people who've already put it on their wish list on Steam, to an incredible teaser trailer that's got everyone excited, that was all you needed to know about Payday 3's latest reveal.